Your peaches were growing beautifully, the fruit was swelling, color was coming in, and then overnight, brown spots appeared. The fruit started rotting right on the tree, and within days, your entire harvest was gone. If this has ever happened to you, or you're watching those first suspicious brown patches appear on your peaches right now, stop everything and watch this video, because what I'm about to share could save every single fruit still left on your tree. If you want serious, practical peach growing tips every single week, the kind that actually come from real field experience, not just theory, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. This channel is built for growers who want real results, and I don't want you to miss a single video. In this video, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know about brown rot, what it actually is, why it attacks your peaches, what mistakes most home growers make that make it 10 times worse, and the exact step-by-step method that commercial orchardists use to stop it and save their harvest. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, exactly what to do, and you'll never lose a peach crop to brown rot again. Let's start with the reality of what's happening in your orchard or garden right now, because most growers don't catch brown rot until it's already too late. The disease doesn't announce itself. It doesn't show up as some dramatic, obvious event. It starts quietly. You'll notice one peach, just one, with a small, soft brown circle on its skin. It might look like a bruise. It might look like insect damage. Most growers touch it, think, okay, that one's going bad, pick it off and forget about it. That is the single biggest mistake you can make, because brown rot is not just a fruit problem, it is a fungal infection that spreads through the air, through rain splash, through insects, and through direct contact between fruits. By the time you see that one brown peach, the spores have already been releasing into your tree for days. The fruit next to it is infected. The fruit above it is infected. And if you leave that rotting peach on the tree, which most people do, within 72 hours you can lose 30, 40, sometimes 80% of your entire crop. The other mistake growers make is thinking brown rot is just a weather problem, something that happens and there's nothing you can do. I hear this all the time. It rained a lot this season. What can I do? Or it was too humid. Yes, moisture plays a role, but that's not the full story. Brown rot hits hardest when growers have ignored basic prevention all season. Crowded canopy, no airflow, fruit that's touching each other, leftover infected fruit from last year still sitting under the tree, or even mummified on the branches. These are all ticking time bombs, and by June and July, when the fruit is ripening, those bombs go off. Now let me give you the science behind this, but I promise to keep it simple, because you don't need a textbook. You need to understand it well enough to act on it. Brown rot is caused by a fungus called Monilinia fructicola. This fungus has been around orchards for as long as peaches have been grown, and it has one very clever survival strategy. It overwinters. That means it doesn't die in the cold. It goes dormant in mummified fruit hanging on your tree or dropped on the ground, and the moment temperatures start warming up and humidity rises, it activates. It produces millions of microscopic spores that are carried by wind and rain. These spores land on your fruit, and if there's any moisture on the skin, even just morning dew, the spore germinates and begins penetrating the fruit within hours. The fungus produces enzymes that break down the fruit cells from the inside, which is why the rot spreads so fast and feels soft to the touch. Once it's inside the fruit, no amount of external spraying will stop it. This is critical to understand. By the time you see the symptom, the infection is already inside. This is exactly why timing and prevention are everything with brown rot. The fungus also loves warmth. It thrives between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius, which means late spring through summer, right when your peaches are ripening, is peak brown rot season. Add any rain, high humidity, or heavy dew, and you have perfect storm conditions. Varieties with thin skin are more vulnerable because the fungus penetrates faster. Fruit that has been cracked by insects, hail, or rough handling gives the spores an immediate entry point. Even a tiny wound from a bird peck or a rubbing branch is enough. So what do experienced commercial peach growers actually do to manage this? Because they do manage it. Professional orchards deal with the same fungus, the same weather, but they rarely lose crops to brown rot the way home growers do. Here is the exact approach, broken down into clear steps that you can follow regardless of whether you have 2 trees or 200. Step 1 is dormant season sanitation, and this is where most home growers skip entirely because it happens in winter when the fruit is long gone and people stop thinking about their trees. Go through your tree in late winter before any bud break and remove every single mummified fruit, those shriveled, dried up old peaches still hanging on the branches. These are brown rot factories. They are literally loaded with fungal spores just waiting for spring. Pull them all off, rake up everything on the ground underneath the tree, and dispose of it away from your growing area. Do not compost it, burn it, or bag it. This one step alone reduces your brown rot pressure dramatically in the following season. Step 2 is dormant copper spray. Before your tree leaves out in early spring, apply a copper-based fungicide. Copper has been used in orchards for over 100 years because it works. It doesn't eliminate the fungus completely, but it significantly suppresses the spore load in and around your tree. Follow the label instructions for your specific product, but the key is timing. It must go on while the tree is still fully dormant. Once you see green tissue starting to emerge, copper can burn it. Step 3 is pruning for airflow. This might sound like general tree care advice, but for brown rot specifically, it is disease management. The fungus needs moisture to germinate. A dense, crowded canopy stays wet longer after rain or dew. When you prune to open up the center of the tree, what growers call the open vase shape, sunlight penetrates, wind moves through, and the tree dries out much faster after moisture. Dry conditions mean brown rot spores can't germinate. This is one of the most powerful free tools you have, and it's almost never talked about in the context of disease control. Step 4 is fruit thinning. I know it hurts to knock off fruit when you've waited all year to see it forming, but crowded fruit clusters are another major driver of brown rot spread. When peaches are touching each other, any infection on one fruit immediately contacts the next. Thin your fruit so that individual peaches are at least 15 to 20 centimeters apart. Single fruits, hanging freely with air around them, are dramatically less likely to develop brown rot. And as a bonus, the fruit you keep will be significantly larger and sweeter because the tree focuses its energy on fewer fruits. Step 5 is your fungicide spray program during the growing season. This is where timing is everything. The 2 most critical spray windows for brown rot are at petal fall, when the flowers are dropping and the tiny fruit is first forming, and then again in the 4 to 6 weeks before harvest, when the fruit is ripening and sugar content is rising, because brown rot is actually attracted to high sugar fruit. Use a registered fungicide specifically labeled for brown rot on stone fruit. Rotate between different chemical groups to prevent the fungus from building resistance. Your local agricultural extension office or nursery can advise on what's registered and available in your region. Follow the pre-harvest interval. That's the number of days you must wait between the last spray and harvest, which is printed on every fungicide label. Step 6 is harvest hygiene. Handle your fruit carefully. Every crack, bruise, or wound is an entry point for brown rot. Pick fruit at the right stage, not too early, not overripe. Overripe fruit is extremely vulnerable. If you're harvesting in stages, remove any infected fruit immediately and take it completely away from the tree. Never leave infected fruit on the ground, under the tree. Pick up windfalls daily during harvest season. Now I want to pause here for a second and ask you something important. Drop a comment right now and tell me, have you ever lost a peach crop to brown rot? Write the word yes if it's happened to you, or never if you've managed to avoid it so far. I read every single comment on this channel, and I want to know what you're dealing with in your own garden. Your answers also help me figure out what topics to cover next, so please take 2 seconds and comment below. Let me now talk about what you actually see in the field, because reading about it is one thing, but being able to identify it quickly when you're standing in front of your tree is what saves your harvest. When you're doing your regular tree inspection, and you should be walking your trees at least every 2 to 3 days when fruit is developing, here is what to look for. Start by looking for any soft, discolored patches on the fruit surface. Fresh brown rot infection appears as a light tan to medium brown circular spot that feels slightly soft when you press it gently. Within 24 hours, that spot will expand noticeably. Within 48 hours, you'll often see grayish spore masses forming on the surface. They look almost like a powdery fuzz. That's the fungus sporulating, releasing the next generation of spores into your orchard. Check fruit that's touching the branch or touching another fruit first, because those contact points are where infections begin. Check any fruit that had insect damage. A small hole from a moth larva or a feeding scar from an aphid is enough for brown rot to establish. Check the lowest hanging fruit too, because rain splash from the soil below carry spores upward. If you find an infected fruit, don't just leave it. Put on gloves, remove it carefully without brushing it against other fruit, and seal it in a bag. Then inspect every fruit within 30 centimeters of where that one came from, because by the time you can see symptoms on one fruit, surrounding fruit may already be an early infection. Here is the part 1 promised, the golden tip. This is something most home growers never hear about, and even some experienced ones overlook. It's called the mummy reduction strategy combined with urea spray, and it comes from professional orchard management. In late winter, after you've removed all visible mummified fruit and pruned the tree, spray the entire tree and the soil underneath it with a urea solution, regular agricultural urea fertilizer dissolved in water at about 5% concentration. What urea does is speed up the decomposition of any remaining infected organic matter in the soil and on the bark. It essentially helps break down the overwintering fungal bodies before they get a chance to produce spores in spring. Research from fruit growing institutes has shown this step can reduce brown rot pressure in the following season by up to 40%. It also provides a small nitrogen boost to the tree going into spring. Most home growers are only doing half the dormant cleanup job. They remove what they can see. The urea spray cleans up what they can't see. Add this to your late winter routine and you will notice a significant difference. Before I wrap up, let me quickly cover the common mistakes that I see growers make with brown rot, because even if you do everything right during the season, these mistakes can undo all of it. The first is relying on a single fungicide spray too late. One spray 2 weeks before harvest is not a brown rot program. It needs to start at petal fall and continue through the season on schedule. The second mistake is not removing infected fruit immediately. Every day you leave a rotting peach on the tree is another day of millions of spores spreading. Remove it the moment you see it. The third mistake is planting peach trees too close together or too close to walls and fences. Poor airflow is a setup for disease. If you're planting new plantings, give your trees real space. The fourth mistake is overhead irrigation during the ripening season. If you're watering by sprinkler and wetting the foliage and fruit, you're creating ideal brown rot conditions. Switch to drip or ground-level irrigation, especially in the 6 weeks before harvest. The fifth mistake is ignoring the orchard floor. Dropped fruit, old leaves, decomposing organic matter right under your tree, all of this harbors brown rot inoculum. Keep the area under your tree clean and consider mulching with fresh material rather than leaving it bare and weedy. You put real time, real care, and real love into growing your peach trees, and there is absolutely nothing more frustrating than watching that harvest disappear to a disease that was preventable. But here's the truth. Now you know more about brown rot than 90% of home growers ever learn. You know where it comes from, how it spreads, exactly when it's most dangerous, and the professional step-by-step system to stop it. The growers who succeed with peaches are not the ones with the best soil or the best weather. They're the ones who stay observant, who act early, and who build a system around their trees rather than just reacting when things go wrong. You now have that system. If this video helped you, please subscribe to this channel. I put out real, field-based peach growing content every week, built for serious growers who want genuine results. Every video I make is something I wish someone had told me earlier in my growing journey. Share this video with anyone you know who's growing peaches, because brown rot doesn't care whether you're a beginner or experienced, but knowledge does make a difference. And in my next video, I'm going to cover something that catches almost every peach grower off guard: why your peach tree flowers heavily but produces almost no fruit, the real biological reasons behind it, and the practical fixes that actually work. That one is going to change how you look at your tree every spring. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it.